Hi everyone, I am Shi Yu. I'd like to ask you two questions. The first one, have you ever reflected on your learning methods? Do you know how you learn best? Now you'll be exploring your learning styles through a model called VARK. The acronym VARK stands for 4 key types of learners. They are visual learners, auditory learners, reading or writing learners, kinesthetic learners. VARK provides learners with an indication of their preferences for learning, and it will indicate stronger and weaker preferences. It would be wonderful if you could explore your weaker preferences and enhance them by using all the VARK strategies associated with them. Now, let's take a closer look at what each of the VARK learning styles entails by answering some questions. Do you have to see information in order to remember it? Do you pay close attention to body language? Are art, beauty, and aesthetics important to you? Does visualizing information in your mind help you remember it better? If you answered yes to most of these questions, chances are good that you have a visual learning style. Visual learners learn best by seeing. Graphic displays such as charts, diagrams, illustrations, handouts, and videos are all helpful learning tools for visual learners. Next, are you an auditory learner? Consider the following questions. Do you prefer to listen to class lectures rather than reading from the textbook? Does reading out loud help you remember information better? Would you prefer to listen to a recording of your class lectures or a podcast rather than going over your class notes? Do you create songs to help remember information? If you answered yes to most of these questions, then you are probably an auditory learner. Auditory learners learn best by hearing information. They tend to get a great deal out of lectures and are good at remembering things they are told. Now, let's move on to a new set of questions and think about whether they might apply to you. Do you find reading your textbook to be a great way to learn new information? Do you take a lot of notes during class and while reading textbooks? Do you enjoy making lists, reading definitions, and creating presentations? Do you prefer it when teachers make use of handouts? If you answered yes to these questions, it is likely that you have a strong preference for the reading and writing style of learning. Because reading and writing learners prefer to take in information displayed as words and text. Do you think you are a kinesthetic learner? Answer these questions to find out. Do you enjoy performing tasks that involve manipulating objects and materials? Is it difficult for you to sit still for long periods of time? Are you good at applied activities such as painting, cooking, mechanics, and sports? Do you have to actually practice doing something in order to learn it? If you responded yes to these questions, then you are most likely a kinesthetic learner. Kinesthetic or tactile learners learn best by touching and doing, and hands-on experience is important to them. Although such an experience may invoke other styles, the key is that people who prefer this style are connected to reality, either through concrete personal experiences, examples, practice, or simulation. Well, some of you might wonder if my answers were yes to one or two questions in each set of questions, what type of learner would I be? If you don't have one single standout or preferred style, you probably have what is known as a multimodal style. They are of two types. There are those who are flexible in their communication preferences and who switch from mode to mode depending on what they are working with. They are context-specific. For example, you might rely on your reading and writing preferences when you are dealing with a class that requires a great deal of book reading and note-taking, such as a history of psychology course. During an art class, you might depend more on your visual and kinesthetic preferences as you take in pictorial information and learn new techniques. So they may have 2, 3, or 4 almost equal preferences. There are others who are not satisfied until they have had input or output in all of their preferred modes. They take longer to gather information from each mode, and as a result, they often have a deeper and broader understanding. They may be seen as procrastinators or slow deliverers, but some may be merely gathering all the information before acting. And their decision-making and learning may be better because of that breadth of understanding. You might find that understanding your own learning preferences can be helpful. For example, if you know that visual learning appeals to you most, using visual study strategies in conjunction with other learning methods might help you better remember the information you are studying. Or, at the very least, make studying more enjoyable.